Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy El Dot De Niro, aka Mr. Lee Bradshaw, owner and operator of 1212 Magazine. We are here with the living legend himself, your boy, and mine, Lord Finesse, the living legend. How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm great. I can't complain, man. Life is, I always say life could be a little bit better or a whole lot worse, you know?
I definitely know that part.
How you looking?
Everything's looking good over here, especially now that I got you gracing the cover of the magazine. Alright, so without further ado, I gotta ask, what's going on for the future of the living legend, Lord Finesse, for today?
Well, I'm always going to be in the music. You know, I'm just going to transition into other areas of music. I'm still going to produce. Rapping got a little expectation. It got a little, a little expiration on that. And I don't look at being 60 doing this, you know? So, I want to do one more project or two more projects or a couple of things in that realm. I'm still going to be doing production. I could do production. Shoot, man, Quincy Jones made Thriller at 50. You know, I don't really look like it's an expiration on production, you know, but I do want to transition into teaching, you know. Different things that I would love to school up and coming producers and people getting in the game on, especially a lot of valuable information. Mm-hmm. I would hate for any artist to hit every pothole that I hit when I was doing this music thing when I first got in. You know, if I can help you skip around the potholes and advance in your career, then I'm more than happy to do that, you know?
Oh, definitely. But a lot, you and your production craft is not, it's like kind of a secret to a lot of people that you've been doing production for quite some time. Like, you've worked with Notorious B.I.G., correct?
Okay.
And a couple of other people. Can you give like a rundown of what made you decide to get into production in the first place?
Well, getting in production, when you're around people like Premier, Showbiz from Show and AG, I was around Large Professor. When you're around these prolific music dudes, man, if you're not inspired to do music being around them, then I don't know what it is, but I was definitely inspired to take the next step in my career as far as production. And it was something that it wasn't something I went to school for or took a class for. It was something that I just dived in, you know, head first, you know, and had such a passion and love for it. When I was able to play my music that I produced, you know, people ain't believe it was me, so that kind of told me I had a knack to do it, you know, and I just got more in depth and involved, like, you know, Show and Diamond used to go record shopping like every weekend, and I used to hear them talk, yeah, we going record shopping, what you doing at that time? You know, I was chasing women and going to parties. I wasn't really thinking about production. But as, you know, I was watching Show and being around Large Professor, and like I said, Premiere, and watching what they do. And then I just said, you know, at a certain point, I think after doing the Return of the Funky Man, I had got me some equipment and started really, you know, I took a weekend out. I remember taking a weekend out and just was listening to records and chopping drums and putting things and filtering. And I was like, oh, this kind of hot. You know, and then when I played it and the response that I got, like I said, it was just like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to really get into this heavy. You know, because in my younger years, I wanted to do it, but I ain't have a clue. Wow. You know, but once I got the SB1200 and the 950 and started learning things, and like I said, being around those gifted individuals, yeah, it took my craft to another level.
Do you still keep in touch with the members of DITC?
Of course. Of course. I mean, everybody's doing so many. Everybody got their own endeavors, you know. You know, from Fat Joe, from Buck to Show to AG, to Diamond. Everybody's doing so many different things. People got families. It's all over. So when I do get a chance to kick it, of course we kick it, we chop it up, and yeah, the relationship is still there. I don't have no beef with nobody.
Do you feel the need to reinsert yourself back into the hip hop portion, into the music portion of hip hop? Like by need, I mean, to elaborate, I mean more of from the commercial artists that we hear today.
Reestablish yourself,
Yeah.
A certain generation might not be very familiar with who Lord Finesse is, so on that note, I would like to do something where I give you a proper introduction of who I am. On that note, people that might not know Lord Finesse or what I've been up to and what I've been doing and my hiatus of putting the album out. Yeah, I will fill in the blanks for you on that note. As far as anything else, it's just picking up where I left off from. I feel when you do music, you should add to your legacy. You should come back, and put your best foot forward. I'm very critical on myself. Anybody around me that knows me in music, I'm my biggest critic. I'm my worst critic. So if it get past me and I'm playing for you and I feel good about it, then that's really saying something.
Yeah.
Because I'm a critic. I need to know if I was a basketball player and I'm used to averaging 30, that I'm still going to average 30, if not 40.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel I can do that on a musical level, then why even get back on the court? That's just how technical and deep I am with myself. It ain't, you can't even gas me, but that's hot. If I don't feel it's hot, then it's just like, nah, because I know, being around for since '89, I know what's phenomenal to me anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like, for me to play you music and I know that I feel I could do something better or I have something better, then why am I playing you this? That's just how I take it. Unless you just say, hey, Finesse, I want to hear everything, then I'll play you everything. But if you don't tell me you need to hear everything, then I'm going to play you what I feel, is great. In my eyes, anyway.
All right. So is there anyone that you're looking forward to featuring again or for the first time on this project?
Oh, wow, man. Yes, I mean, it's a lot of people, man, I would say one of the people, of course, I want to work with Roy Ayers again, Like the names I'm gonna say is not like, okay, they got a hit record out, so I'm gonna work with this one and work with that one, and no. I want to work with people that I love what they do, and that's Roy Ayers from an iconic standpoint. I want to work with Raheem Devon. We talked recently. I want to work with. I would love to work with Ghostface, Raekwon, Genius. Maybe MOP.
Okay.
Definitely Chuck D. Like, where I'm looking to go with this is from a grown man perspective. I'm not looking to go young. I think if it's a young artist that I want to work with, it'll be two. It would be Rashid Chappelle, and it would be Joey Badass. It's them two.
Okay.
That I would like to work with. If I heard somebody else, maybe a Dave East. I'm very critical on because I want to make sure you're gonna fit into the criteria of what I'm doing versus just doing songs with multiple people and your album sound like a compilation. I think my album I want it to sound like a project. You know, from the songs, from the interludes, from everything. I want to say this was carefully crafted. He really thought this out very from the concepts, the songs, the music, the change ups. I want to hire horn sections. Like my mind is very broad when it comes to music. So I want it to be hip hop, but I want it to be funk. I want it to be soul. I want it to be straight hip hop, but I want it to be able to compete with today's music. I want it to be boom bap, but at the same time, from a sonic standpoint and a musical standpoint, it has to be able to compete with this music. And when I say that, I'm not saying I want to do trap songs or I want to get into that type of zone, but I want to be able to play my music and I don't care what's out. People go, God damn, that shit's hot. That's ill.
So what's the goal? Oh, sorry. My apologies. What is the ultimate goal for Lord Finesse on this mission?
The ultimate goal is to just show people that music don't have an expiration date. Hip hop doesn't have an expiration date. Doesn't matter how old you are age wise. If you got it, you got it. I think when I look at hip hop today, they're trying to make it seem like you have to be in a certain age group, and to me that's bullshit. Because when you look at rock and when you look at other genres, you know, you got rock, you got heavy metal, you got all types of rock, light rock, you know, progressive rock. You know, when it's hip hop, they try to make it, they force feed you one style. And I don't think it's as diverse as it used to be. Because they're not giving you varieties. They're giving you one style and they're forcing the one style down your throat. And it's so being forced down your throat, it doesn't give individuals to be different because they scared if they choose to be different, they won't get radio play or they won't get the play of what's being put out there right now. So I want to inspire artists and people to understand if you do great music, you don't have to be commercial, you just do great music. You know, somebody told me, Jazz Jeff told me, and this is gonna always run in my mind when you think about music, you know, don't think about the business of music. Don't think about the industry. Think about your love for it, your passion for it, and your fans, and what you wish to obtain. You know, because you could be disgruntled with the industry, you could be angry at the business of music, but ask yourself personally, what did music ever do wrong to you? Music. And when you look at it from that perspective, it gave me a whole kind of outlook on my direction. It kind of reinforced my vision and my destination, you know, to love it, have passion, you know, have standards. Think about your fan base and your demographics. Most people don't even understand who they're making their music for.
Yeah.
They just say, okay, this is out. I'm going to make something like this. But who is it for? Who are you trying to reach? People can't even tell you that. Most people can't even tell you what success is because they're going to always look at what somebody else has and compare success to somebody else's accomplishments.
So let me ask, how do you feel about the impact of today's music is having on the young ones that are growing up today? Some of them under the same situations that we grew up under, you know, as far as poverty levels, one parent in the household, you know, and things of that. Do you feel the impact that they're sending out is more detrimental or it's helping the young ones come up?
Well, I can't really appreciate when somebody uses those things as excuses on why music is the way it is, or their reason why. I only had one parent and this and that. That's bullshit. You know, I lost my parents before I hit four, both of mine. And I was raised by my grandmother. But what she instilled in me as far as values and being self-empowered and having your own opinion was the greatest thing she ever really taught me. So when things was coming up and people was trying to get me to do things I didn't want to do, all I have to do is think about saying no. You know, what's so hard about saying no? You know, if somebody's really your friend and they really respect you, if you say the word no, why all of a sudden y'all not friends because you said no? You know, so I think people have to be more self-empowered and opinionated and have questions and don't be scared to ask questions. As far as music, it's hard to really get a grasp on music because we have filters and we have standards. You know, nowadays when a child can upload music from their bedroom onto the internet, there is no filter. You don't have to follow no rules to do that. There is no A&R telling you that's not good enough to upload. So kids can kind of upload whatever. And nowadays, acts are being picked on, they being picked by views. So if you got 1 million views, that's saying something. That doesn't necessarily equate to skills and talent and how great the person is. It just shows that they got 1 million views. I was just telling somebody earlier, if you was walking across the street, you got hit by a car, and you bleed and you're in the street, and you tell your man to start recording you in the street bleeding and hand you a drum machine and start making the beat while you laying in the street bleeding, waiting for the ambulance, and you upload that video and it get 5 million hits. You know, that's based on the whole incident and what's going on. It doesn't mean you're super talented. It means you got 5 million people to watch this crazy shit you uploaded. But he'll get a deal quicker than somebody with talent based on the views and the traffic, because they're gonna equate those views to, well, we can get people to start buying his music, and it's just being judged by a whole different thing now. And you know, people say, well, when we come down and have opinions on what we like and what we dislike, we're called haters, you know, because our generation, and you know, you're looking at it the wrong way, you're taking it too serious, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think, you know, people say, well, your parents, when you was listening to hip hop, they called it noise and they ain't understand it. So it's the same thing with y'all. No, it's not. Now I'll tell you why. It's not because I'm a vet in the game that put in over 20 years in doing music. Not a listener. So I'm not listening to music going, oh, that's whack. What are you listening to? No. As a vet, as a person that put my work in hip hop, I put bricks in the road so you can walk down. I'm not allowed to voice my displeasure when I hear something that sounds totally off or trash. It's different. I'm not a parent looking at music from a standpoint of, hey, what you listening to, John? No, I'm coming at you from a point of being a veteran and being passionate about music and knowing what we built as artists and watching it kind of crumble in front of me. And, you know, it's like you painting a picture, and you took the picture and it's a masterpiece, and somebody did something like Money did in B Street and just did spit on your masterpiece. You can't say nothing about it. You shouldn't have an opinion about it.
So what would you personally want from an independent artist who wants to work with you? Meaning, like, well, we know that you're not focused on views, but you want. Would you care more about hearing the idea out before doing your background check on the artist, or would you want the artist to have a strong work ethic in his history?
It's a combination of all those things. Definitely a strong work ethic, but more than a work ethic, because you get nowhere fast if you don't have vision or direction. So you gotta have vision, you gotta have direction, you gotta know who you're aiming your music at and what channels you're gonna take or how we're gonna get there together. If you just wanna do music and you don't care about these things, then you're gonna have a long road because you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. I don't have time to watch you make a lot of mistakes because time is valuable. So as an artist, you have to be an artist. If you look at what's out there and you choose to copy what's out there, you're already telling me you used to be a number two, or you're happy with being number two. I never created a number two. I never discovered a number two. When I battled AG in high school, he was different. When I bumped in and discovered Big L, he was different. I'm not saying you're gonna be as great as an L or AG, but I don't look for number twos. I look for something original.
All right. With the knowledge that you have of the business today, looking back, would you had signed any deals?
You said when. You got to be more specific in detail with that question.
Sorry, with the amount of knowledge that you now have of the music industry, looking back in your career path, would you restructure the deals that you signed with labels or management companies? You know,
of course. You know, if I get into that zone, you'll have to put what I'm about to say in a whole nother section on the music industry. Yeah, of course I would have restructured deals and I would have looked for more distribution as opposed to being an artist. Now what I'm about to say, like I said, you're gonna have to put this in a whole nother realm.
It could be your whole book.
When we signed a deal as an artist, let's say you got a budget of $150,000, right? So $150,000, that's what you had to create your album, $150,000. That was your budget. So let's say you got an advance of, let's say, $40,000, being generous, $40,000. With the other 110, you had to create an album. That involves studio time, that involves collaborations, that involves sample clearance, that involves paying for production, that involves whatever it took to make that album, right? Now, your album was put on reels at the time. So when you was in the studio, you was recording to like 2-inch reels, right? What you call at the end of the day, those are called masters. Now, so let's say your album is done, you mixed it, you mastered it, you know, all that came out to 110. You kept 40. Now, with these masters, you hand those to the label. The record comes out. When a record comes out, you get, let's say I'm being generous again, let's say you get 14 points. 14 points of a retail record that's going for $7. I'm being very generous with the numbers. For each unit you sell, you're getting 14 points out of a 100% pop. 14 points out of a 100-point pop. So with the 14 points, your 14 points, that's what you got to recoup the 110,000 with. I mean 150,000. With your 14 points, your 98 cents per record. So now, mind you, as it goes on, other things come. Radio budget, video budget, all these things are being added on to the 150,000. let's say by some miraculous miracle, you go or you sell units and you recoup with your 98 cents. Because mind you, your 14 points have nothing to do with the 100-point pie. So with your 14 points at $7, that's 98 cents. So the other $6.02 is going to the label. So you have to recoup 150 or whatever with the videos and the radio play. You have to recoup that with your 14 points. So at the end of the day, by some miracle, if you recoup that, the 150, they still keep the masters. So my question is then why do you have to recoup the 150 when you actually just kept really 40? So if I have to recoup back 150, shouldn't I be entitled to the masters? So if I have to recoup the masters, they should be mine. People don't understand the technology or the emphasis behind masters. Masters is if somebody sampled your record, you got the master side, you got the publishing side. When your record gets licensed for movies and commercials, you got the publishing side, you got the master side. So let's say if your record, let's say your record goes into a movie, and the movie is giving up, let's say, 50,000. So 25 goes towards the master, and 25 goes towards the publishing. Let's say your producer produced the record and you rapped on it. So both of y'all got to split the 25, and that's 12.5 apiece. When the label gets the master fee, that's straight 25 for them. They ain't splitting that with you. But once again, if you recoup and you own the master, that whole 50, well, 3/4 of that 50 will be the artist. So it's just getting an understanding of what you're signing. And sometimes when you deal with attorneys, they don't fight to get you the best deal. They fight to get you something good enough to sign, something average to sign. They're not fighting for the most incredible deal unless you that sought after by labels where you can demand these things in your contract. So once again, if you're recouping something, I just understand why I couldn't keep the masters if I got to recoup it. So if I just kept 40, then out of my money, I should be able to just recoup 40. Recoup what I actually spent versus recoup the masters. So these are a lot of things that artists don't know in the game. They just want to get in. And they're not being educated to understand the difference with owning masters and publishing and how publishing goes, and knowing that when you die today or tomorrow, the rights of your music, that's your family. So it has to be worth something than to give it away for free. If you're giving your music away for free and there's no publishing on it, how do your family eat, or how does your generation that you're creating, your child, your daughter, your family, eat off of that when you're gone? These are things that I think artists and up-and-coming producers, they got to know these things. So that's why I said, for me to break down what I'm breaking down, you'll have to put that in a whole nother side thing.
It'll be there.
Take 5 pages alone,
It'll be there, trust. All right, Do you feel that the culture, that the whole hip hop culture, is moving forward or going backwards at today's present state?
I think it's going backwards, and I don't say that because I want to bash the new generation. You have a lot of bright points when you got like the Joey Badasses, you got the Kendrick Lamar, you got J. Cole, and got people like Jay Electronica that came within our generation. That's dope. But you got a lot of artists that are great, like Dave East, So I'm not bashing the younger generation that's good. I'm just disappointed in the artists that come in and just want to make money. They don't care what they make, how they make it. It's like, look, man, I just want to do music, man. I don't even know, why should I need a history lesson to do rap? Wait up, y'all coming with all these rules and shit. Well, if you want to be a basketball player, you don't just throw on the uniform and get on the court and start double dribbling and going out of bounds and doing all. It's got to be some type of structure, and that's all it is. It has to be structure. You don't go in and want to be a doctor and skip college and say, you know what, I'm nice with pills and cough medicine. Let me get at a patient. You have to be educated in some form or fashion in the film in a field that you're getting in. And that's my biggest hang up with, some of the new generation. It's just like, I don't care. Nigga, what, nigga? And, it's just crazy. So, you have bright points, but you have a whole lot of people trying to force feed you some bullshit. And it's not as diverse as it used to be. We'll give you a little of this, we'll give you a little of that. Hold up, we're gonna hit you with a little Public Enemy, we're gonna hit you with a little of this. You had diversity. Now it's just like 6 records, 7 records. You're gonna just ram this down your throat. Here, take this again. Out of commercial, into this again. Like, it has to be more diversity, and that's my biggest hang up. Let's give everybody a chance to get played, get run. Instead of just ramming certain things down. We need more consciousness. We need more awareness, and everything can't be about partying or getting turned up every minute. You can't. You have to have balance, and it's not enough censorship. When we was coming up, certain things would not get no play over 1 or 2 words. Like, you don't change these 1 or 2 words, this shit ain't getting played. You got, music telling kids it's okay to use drugs, and, we getting high out our mind, and, mind you, there is a place for it, but it shouldn't be on daytime radio when it's forcing us down, and this is what kids see. And they're very impressionable right now.
Do you find it difficult to juggle your career with your family at today's stage, pardon me?
Nah, because it's mainly it's mainly me, and what I'm doing is for my family. So I have to really get out here and grind and do what I'm doing. So at the end of the day, when I decide, like, I don't want to do this no more, I can make a choice. I don't want to do this no more. Versus, having and being in a position, having a position and being in a position to say no to things is successful. So some people aren't financially in a position where they can say no. They have to say yes to a lot of things. I'm trying to put myself in the ultimate position where I don't have to say yes to anything if I don't want to. And that's success to me.
Okay. Now, if you have the power, which album would you re-release in today's market?
I wanted to re-release The Awakening, and I was trying to work out a deal with Warner Brothers, but it didn't happen because it was just like they were just really being unreasonable. Like, with me breaking down everything I know about the music business and me wanting to put this project out. I wanted to do it. I was giving them the rights to it digitally. Well, you can have the digital rights. Let me just get the vinyl rights. Because, to me, it was about doing some incredible artwork, some real incredible vinyl, do remixes, going in there, and then it was finding the masters to go in there and alter certain things within a song with these remixes. They couldn't find the masters, and then at the end of the day, they told me I could have the vinyl, but I gotta buy the vinyl from them. And I just didn't think that ain't make no sense, you know, because what I wanted to do with the vinyl, it was gonna be different. And I was like, well, you can tell a pressing plant or the manufacturer, everything I order has to be authorized by y'all. I don't want to buy it from y'all. Y'all don't have a clue of what I want to do. Well, no, you have to buy it from us. So that means I would have had to tell you my whole vision and idea to re-release this album, and knowing that label, you would have applied everything I'm doing to your other artists. So I'm about to give you a blueprint of what I'm doing, and you're about to not only get all the digitals, but apply it to other artists because you don't have no vision. If labels knew how valuable the stuff they had, those masters that they had, it'll be a whole ton of re-releases, especially on stuff like Earth, Wind, and Fire and Stevie Wonder and all these acts, because that music is phenomenal. To go back in there and re-release stuff and give us instrumentals and stuff that wasn't instrumentals to, that's valuable.
Yes, it is. Sorry, that was just mesmerizing because it was so true. Excuse me. All right, so wrapping this up, what advice would you give an indie artist who is still on the mission of getting a deal?
Understand what it is to be independent. Independent is not just about throwing something out and hoping to catch fire. You know, independent is about knowing you might have to hire a publicist, knowing you might have to travel throughout the United States, if not the world, to push your word, to push your music, to let people know you exist. You know, it's not just throwing something out hoping it blows up. It's about really putting your best foot behind it and making sure the world understands that you're out there. And I just sometimes don't think artists take it seriously. I tell people about the demo structure, what we had to go through when we was coming up. We had the demo tapes. Remember those? You had like 3 to 5 songs on the demo tape that you shopped around. It took you months to make sure these 3 to 5 songs are the most incredible songs you ever produced or came out with. And then you thought it was good enough to get you a deal. And you shopped it around. And you know, not everybody's going to say, yeah, this is hot. But when you finally got that label say, we want to invest in you, you felt like you did something. And to appreciate success, you got to really understand the struggle. If you don't understand the struggle, you're not going to appreciate success. So now when we take it up to this generation and you releasing mixtapes, and it's like 12 to 16 songs on this mixtape, which is 12 to 16 opportunities to show the world you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. 12 to 16 opportunities. And you can't create a buzz with 12 to 16 songs. Really not that great, because now if you're on your 3rd mixtape, you know, you done did 2 to 3 mixtapes, you don't release anywhere between 36 to 48 songs. 36 to 48 songs, and you still don't got a buzz? Dude, you're not hot. That's just point blank, because it don't take you 36 or 48 songs to show the world you hot. That's the difference. You know, we value what we did, and we was very hard on ourselves when we did those 3 to 5 songs. So that's the difference between like now and when we was coming up in the game.
Well, thank you for your time, first off. I truly appreciate it. Is there anything that you would like to cover that I unfortunately did not ask you?
Oh no, we covered a lot. I just gotta see how you gonna break all this shit down.
It's gonna be the Bible. The Bible of Lord Finesse.
We basically covered a lot, you know? We both covered a lot.
Alright, so where can your fans see you, holla at you, you know, any information, any plugs you want to put in right now?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lord Finesse DITC, LORDFINESSE DITC, all in one stroke. You know, at Twitter and Instagram, and it's Facebook. .com/, once again, Lord Finesse DITC. And you can reach out to me and, yeah, you can follow me there. I'm still doing shows. I'm still touring. I do got another project up my sleeve that I'll be announcing shortly when I get a understanding of what I exactly want to do. I got the blueprint is there. It's just understanding how I want to go about it. But I think when it's time for me to go with it, and I'm looking at 2017, and yeah, I'm very inspired. Like I got some shit,
Well, you definitely have a full page home with us for anything you want to promote. You're more than welcome. Free of charge, just to put that on record. Hang on, don't hang up. Don't hang up just yet.
Welcome to the new world.